Good morning to all. In today's class, we'll discuss about the research design. In the last class, we saw the introduction to the research. Now, in today's class, we'll discuss about the research design. What is research design? First, let us see what is research design. So, the task of designing the research problem is the preparation of the research project, popularly known as the research designs. The decisions regarding what, where, when, how much, and by what means concerning an inquiry or a research study constitute a research design. Now let us see the meaning of research design. A research design is the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in a manner that aims to combine relevance to the research purpose with economy in procedure. The research design have following parts: sampling design, observational design, statistical design, and operational design. First one is sampling design. We'll discuss one by one in detail. Sampling design means which deals with the methods of selecting items to be observed for the study. Observational design means which relates to the condition under which the observations are to be created. Statistical design means which concern the question of how the information and data gathered are to be analyzed. Operational design means which deals with the techniques by which the procedures satisfied in the sampling method. Now let us discuss about the features of a good research design. So a research design appropriate for a particular research problem usually involves the following features: the mean of obtaining information, the availability and skills of the researcher and his staff if any, the objective of the problem to be studied, the nature of the problem to be studied, the availability of time and money for the research work. Now let us discuss about the extraneous variable. These are not related to the purpose of study but may affect on the dependent variables, and these are termed as the extraneous variables. That is, the variables which are not directly related to the purpose of the study but it may have an effect on the dependent variables are known as extraneous variables. Now let us see an example for this. Suppose a researcher wants to test the hypothesis that there is a relationship between children gains in social studies achievement and their self-concept. In this case, the self-concept is actually independent variable. The social studies achievement is actually dependent variable. The intelligence may as well as effect on the social achievement, but it is not related to the study undertaken by the researcher. So it is an extraneous variable. That is how we consider it as an extraneous variable. Research hypothesis. The research hypothesis is a predicative statement that relates an independent variable to dependent variable. So whenever we are relating an independent variable to a dependent variable, it is known as research hypothesis. So it is a predicative statement. Now let us discuss about the experimental and non-experimental hypothesis testing. So the experimental hypothesis testing means when the purpose of research is to test a research hypothesis, it is used to termed as hypothesis testing research. So it can be experimental or non-experimental. Experimental and control groups. When a group is exposed to usual conditions, it is termed as a control group. So whenever we are exposing a group to usual conditions, it is known as control group. But when the group is exposed to some of these special conditions, it is termed as experimental group. So when it is usual conditions, when we are exposing, it is known as control group. And when we are exposing to special conditions, it is known as experimental group. Now let us discuss about treatments. The different conditions under which experiment and control groups are put up usually referred to as treatments. So we call them experiments and control groups which are referred to as treatments. Experiment. The process of examining the truth of a statistical hypothesis that is relating to some research problem is known as experiment. Say, for example, we can conduct an experiment to examine the usefulness of a certain newly developed drug. So, whenever we are testing to whenever we are examining the usefulness of a certain useful drug, it is known as experiment. Now we'll see the different research design. In case of exploratory research study, in case of descriptive and diagnostic research, in case of hypothesis testing research studies, we'll discuss one by one. So how the exploratory research study, descriptive and diagnostic research study, and hypothesis testing research study have an effect on the research. So research design in case of exploratory research design. Exploratory research method are also termed as formulative research method. The main purpose is that to formulate the research problem, there are three methods available. The survey of concerning literature. We'll take the survey of concerning literature, the experience survey, and the analysis of insight. We'll consider insight stimulus. The survey of concerning literature means this is most simple and fruitful method of formulating the research problem. Hypothesis is taken earlier workers and their usefulness to be evaluating as a basis for further research. That is known as simple. The next one is experience survey. The experience survey means the survey of people who had practical experience. The object is to obtain new ideas relating to the research problem. The analysis of insight stimulating. The third one is analysis of insight stimulating. It is also a fruitful method of suggesting the hypothesis. It is particularly suitable in the